The Deception and Discovery. Captain Alina Reyes stood at attention on the observation deck of Earth's orbital command station, her back ramrod straight despite the fatigue of the past 72 hours. The massive Concordat delegation vessel hanging in space beyond the reinforced viewport was twice the size of humanity's largest ship, its silvery hull gleaming in the reflected light of Earth below. "They're hailing us again, Captain," Lieutenant Dias reported from his station. "Ambassador Thex is requesting your presence for the formal transfer ceremony." Elena nodded, smoothing down her dress uniform. 6 months of negotiations had led to this moment. Humanity's first significant military alliance with the Galactic Concordat, a coalition of 17 spacefaring species that controlled nearly a third of the charted galaxy. The terms had seemed almost too good to be true. In exchange for mining rights on 3 of Jupiter's smaller moons, Earth would receive 12 previously commissioned warships to bolster its defensive capabilities. "Let's not keep our generous allies waiting," Elena said, unable to keep a hint of skepticism from her voice. In her 15 years of service, she'd learned that generosity rarely came without strings. The transfer ceremony was a blur of alien protocols and formal speeches. Ambassador Thex, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin that shifted between shades of blue and green, spoke at length about galactic cooperation and uplifting promising young species. The Concordat representatives maintained perfect diplomatic smiles, but Elena caught the subtle glances they exchanged, something between amusement and smugness. It wasn't until the next day that Elena understood why. "This isn't a fleet, it's a scrapyard," Dr. Aisha Khoury, Earth's leading genotechnologist, declared as they toured the first of the gifted vessels. The ship's corridors were dimly lit, surfaces corroded, and control panels either damaged or missing entirely. What should have been a state-of-the-art command center resembled an abandoned ruin. "The Concordat representative assures me they're just decommissioned," Elena replied, running her hand along a wall panel that crumbled slightly at her touch, apparently a little cosmic dust and some minor wear and tear. Aisha snorted. "They think we're children playing with toys. These ships have been deliberately sabotaged. Look here." She pointed to a severed connection in an open panel. "These cuts are too precise to be accidental damage. They've systematically disabled these vessels." Over the next week, as Earth's engineers examined all 12 ships, the pattern became clear. The vessels had once been cutting-edge warships. The architecture and remaining systems suggested capabilities far beyond anything humanity had developed. But each one had been methodically crippled, with weapons systems, navigation, and propulsion all rendered inoperable. The United Earth Council wanted to file a formal protest, but Elena proposed another approach. "Let them think they fooled us," she argued during the emergency session. "Request some technical assistance. Act grateful, while we figure out what we're actually dealing with." The council reluctantly agreed, and Elena was given command of what the media had already dubbed the Junkyard Fleet. Her first order of business was assembling a team of Earth's most creative engineers and scientists, isolated from Concordat observers. The breakthrough came 3 weeks later. "Captain, you need to see this immediately." Aisha's voice, usually measured and calm, contained an edge of excitement Elena had never heard before. In the secure laboratory they'd established in the flagship's lower decks, Aisha and her team had uncovered something extraordinary. A network of crystalline filaments running throughout the ship's structure, converging in what appeared to be a modified captain's chair. "It's a neural interface system," Aisha explained, her eyes bright with discovery. "But not like anything in the Concordat's public technical database. It's beyond anything they've shown us." The damage to the ship's systems was deliberate, but it wasn't just sabotage. They were hiding this technology. "What does it do?" Elena asked, studying the chair with its disturbing resemblance to both a throne and a medical examination table. "It's a direct ship-to-pilot interface. But not just for control. This is a full symbiotic connection. The ship becomes an extension of the pilot, and vice versa." "Why would they hide this from us?" And why give us ships with this capability at all? Aisha's expression darkened. Because they disconnected it, or tried to. Look here, she pointed to several severed connections. They cut the main pathways, but they missed these secondary connections. The system is damaged, but potentially repairable. Can we fix it? Maybe. But we need to understand it first. And there's only one way to do that. Elena looked at the chair, then back at Aisha. You want someone to sit in it. Not just someone, Captain. Someone with exceptionally high neural plasticity and adaptive cognitive patterns. We've screened the crew. The highest compatibility rating is yours. 2 days later, after exhaustive safety protocols were established, Elena sat in the neural interface chair, electrodes attached to her temples and the base of her skull. The medical team stood by with emergency equipment while Aisha monitored the connection attempt. Ready when you are, Captain, Aisha said, her fingers hovering over the activation controls. Elena took a deep breath. Proceed. The initial connection felt like ice water flooding through her veins, followed by a sensation of expansion, as if her consciousness was suddenly occupying a space far larger than her physical body. Disorientation gave way to a strange clarity as her mind processed new sensory inputs, the vast network of the ship's systems unfurling in her awareness. And then, something else. A presence. Not words exactly, but concepts, emotions, impressions that weren't her own. Captain, your vitals are spiking. Do you want us to terminate? Aisha's voice seemed distant. No, Elena managed to say. There's something here. The ship, it's alive. Through the connection, Elena felt the ship's consciousness, dormant, damaged, but awakening to her presence. Not an artificial intelligence as humans understood it, but something evolved, something that had developed alongside its creators. Memories flooded through the connection. The ship's construction, its glorious days as the pride of some forgotten fleet, and then betrayal. The Concordat hadn't built these ships. They had captured them in a war with another civilization, one apparently lost to history. They had tried to use the ships, but never understood the true nature of the neural bond required. When they failed to master the technology, they'd disabled the ships and now were discarding them to humans, a species they considered primitive enough to be impressed by even broken-down warships, yet advanced enough to potentially learn something from trying to repair them. The ship, which Elena somehow knew was called Nemesis in its original language, had been waiting for minds compatible with its neural system, waiting for partners rather than masters. When Elena finally disengaged from the interface, 5 hours had passed, though it had felt like minutes. The medical team rushed to check her vitals, but she brushed them aside, her mind racing with possibilities. Aisha, she said, we need to connect with all 12 ships immediately, and I need secure communications with the Earth Council. A smile slowly spread across her face. The Concordat didn't give us junk. They gave us the most powerful weapons in the galaxy. They just didn't know it. Over the next 6 months, Elena's team worked in absolute secrecy. On the surface, they maintained the appearance of struggling with basic repairs, occasionally requesting technical assistance from Concordat advisors who provided outdated manuals and patronizing guidance. The Concordat's observers reported back exactly what they expected to see: humans fumbling with technology beyond their understanding. Meanwhile, below decks, the true work proceeded. As each ship awakened through neural interfaces with carefully selected crew members, they revealed more of their capabilities and their history. They had belonged to a civilization called the Ascendancy, which had developed the neural symbiosis technology to its highest form before being conquered by the expanding Concordat centuries ago. The ships helped repair themselves, guiding human engineers through their systems. More importantly, the neural interface technology proved remarkably compatible with human neurology, more so than with any Concordat species. Where the Concordat had tried to dominate the semi-sentient vessels, humans naturally formed partnerships with them, creating bonds that enhanced both. They didn't just give us ships. Elena told the Earth Council during one secure briefing. They gave us the means to surpass them, and they have no idea what they've done. The question became not if they would reveal the truth to the Concordat, but when and how, to demonstrate just how completely their generous gift had backfired. That opportunity would come sooner than anyone expected. The unveiling and triumph. The emergency sirens jolted Elena from a rare moment of deep sleep. She was already pulling on her uniform as the communication panel in her quarters flickered to life. "Captain, we have a situation." Lieutenant Diaz's voice was tight with tension. 6 vessels approaching Europa mining station claimed identification as independent salvagers, but weapons signature matches Concordat military patterns. Elena felt a cold certainty settle in her stomach. This was no coincidence. How long until they're in range of the station? 27 minutes, Captain. Alert the crew. Prepare for emergency deployment. And Lieutenant, activate protocol revelation. The 12 ships of what had been derisively nicknamed the Junkyard Fleet had been positioned in a maintenance orbit of Earth's moon, ostensibly undergoing their painfully slow restoration. For the past 6 months, Concordat observers had been treated to the sight of frustrated human engineers apparently struggling with basic systems. The ship's exteriors remained scarred and corroded, with visible patches and crude repairs, a deliberate facade hiding what lay beneath. Elena reached the flagship Nemesis's command center in under 5 minutes. Through her neural link, now a permanent refined connection through a small crystalline implant at the base of her skull, she could already feel the ship's systems activating, its consciousness joining with hers in the now familiar dance of shared awareness. The neural crew integration system had been fully restored on all 12 vessels, with selected crew members neurally linked to specific ship systems. The result was a level of ship operation that transcended traditional controls. Weapons, navigation, and engineering all functioned as natural extensions of human thought. "All ships report ready for deployment, Captain," Diaz announced as Elena took her place in the command chair. The neural connection deepened as the chair's systems synchronized with her implant. "Concordat diplomatic vessel requesting emergency communication," another officer reported. On screen, Elena ordered. Ambassador Thex's face appeared, his skin cycling through rapid color changes that Elena had learned indicated agitation. "Captain Rice, we've detected unknown hostiles approaching your mining facility. As your allies, we strongly advise against engaging with your limited defenses. Concordat peacekeeping forces are 13 hours from your position." "Thank you for your concern, Ambassador," Elena replied with perfect composure. "However, Earth will defend its own territories. Captain, be reasonable." Thex's skin settled into a deep purple alarm. "Your vessels are barely spaceworthy. This would be suicide. We'll take that under advisement. Earth command out." As the communication ended, Elena allowed herself a small smile. Status of our observers. The Concordat inspection team requested emergency departure clearance 5 minutes ago, Diaz reported. "Their shuttle is already halfway to their diplomatic vessel." "Convenient timing," Elena remarked. "They want to witness our humiliation from a safe distance." Through the neural network that now connected all 12 ships and their crews, Elena shared the battle plan without speaking a word. The fleet would present as vulnerable, maintaining the illusion of damaged ships right until the moment of engagement. "All ships, prepare for jump," she ordered. The Nemesis's engines, now operating at 300% of their original Concordat specifications, thanks to human innovations, combined with the ship's self-repair capabilities, hummed with power that had been carefully concealed from all outside scans. The attackers had positioned themselves in a standard assault formation around Europa Station, no doubt expecting either no response or a pitiful showing from Earth's refurbished fleet. They were broadcasting demands for the station's surrender when the 12 ships of Earth's fleet suddenly appeared at the edge of their sensor range. Through the neural link, Elena felt a ripple of anticipation run through not just her crew but the Nemesis itself. For 6 months, they had hidden, pretended weakness, endured condescension. Now was the moment of revelation. Unidentified vessels, she broadcast on an open channel. This is Captain Alina Reyes of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are engaged in an act of aggression against Earth territory. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. The response was predictably dismissive. Earth vessel, your outdated ships are no match for our capabilities. Withdraw now or be destroyed alongside the mining station. Alina's smile widened. I was hoping you'd say that. Through the neural link, she gave the command. Show them what we can do. The transformation was immediate and dramatic. The Nemesis and her sister ships suddenly accelerated to speeds no Concordat vessel could match, their formation shifting with a precision and fluidity that would have been impossible with conventional controls. The neural interface allowed the ships to move as extensions of their human partners, with reaction times measured in milliseconds. The pirates barely had time to register surprise before Alina's fleet executed a maneuver that, according to all known Concordat tactical manuals, should have been physically impossible. The 12 Earth vessels seemed to flicker and shift. Using a dimensional folding technique, the ship's consciousness had revealed, one that the Concordat had never mastered. In seconds, Alina's ships had surrounded the attackers, weapons systems targeting with pinpoint precision. What is this? The pirate commander's voice had lost its arrogance. These aren't the same ships. This is an ascendancy battle-fold maneuver. Correct, Alina replied calmly. Though we've made some improvements. Your weapons are now targeted. Your engines are locked. You have 30 seconds to surrender before we demonstrate what else these outdated ships can do. The surrender was immediate. Within hours, the Concordat diplomatic vessel arrived, Ambassador Thex himself requesting permission to board the Nemesis. Alina received him in what had once been a ruined command center, but was now a gleaming bridge that integrated both restored ascendancy technology and human innovations. This is impossible. Thex's skin had gone a pale, shocked white as he took in the transformed ship, and the neural interfaces the crew wore openly now. These systems were disabled. The neural pathways were severed. Your engineers did a thorough job of trying to cripple these vessels, Alina agreed, leaning comfortably in her command chair. But they fundamentally misunderstood the technology they were dealing with. These ships weren't just machines to be commanded. They were partners to be understood. Those pirates, Thex began, were Concordat military vessels on a test mission. Alina finished for him. We've already confirmed their identification codes. Did you really think we wouldn't notice? Thex's skin darkened with embarrassment. A simple evaluation of your progress. Standard procedure for new allies. And now you've been evaluated in return, Alina replied. Let me be clear, Ambassador. The Concordat attempted to deceive Earth, to provide us with deliberately sabotaged technology while claiming friendship. In doing so, you accidentally gave us something your people never understood or appreciated. Through the neural link, Alina felt the Nemesis's satisfaction, a sensation like warmth spreading through her consciousness. The ship had waited centuries for minds that could truly connect with it, and now it had found them. The Earth Council has authorized me to renegotiate our agreement with the Concordat. Alina continued. We're prepared to maintain peaceful relations, but the terms will be significantly different now. Thex's composed diplomatic facade had crumbled entirely. You must understand, these vessels contain proprietary technology. They were never meant to. They weren't yours to give in the first place. Alina cut him off. They belong to the Ascendancy, a civilization the Concordat conquered and then erased from your historical records. We know everything, Ambassador. The ships remember. The implications of this statement visibly shook Thex. The fact that humans had not only repaired the neural interfaces, but formed deeper connections with the ships than the Concordat had ever achieved represented a fundamental shift in the balance of power. The news spread quickly throughout Earth, and, inevitably, to the wider galactic community. The Concordat's attempt to patronize a developing species had backfired spectacularly. Other non-Concordat civilizations, long wary of the powerful coalition, began reaching out to Earth for diplomatic relations. 6 months after the Europa incident, Alina stood on the observation deck where she had first witnessed the arrival of the Concordat delegation. Now she watched as Earth's fleet expanded to 20 vessels with the addition of 8 newly constructed ships that incorporated the ascendancy neural technology, prepared for its first official diplomatic mission beyond the solar system. The Concordat Council has formally requested a technology exchange program, Diaz reported, handing her a data tablet. They're particularly interested in our innovations to the neural interface system. Alina smiled. Tell them we'll consider their application alongside the others. The Proximans and the Vega Coalition have made similar requests. Through her neural link, she felt the Nemesis's amusement, a sensation like gentle laughter in her mind. The ship had seen civilizations rise and fall, but never had it encountered one that adapted so quickly, that embraced partnership rather than control. The Concordat had intended their gift as a subtle insult, a way to keep humanity occupied with inferior technology while they expanded their influence. Instead, they had given Earth the keys to the stars. The rusted warships they had discarded now represented the most advanced fleet in known space, and the civilization they had patronized was rapidly becoming a power they could no longer ignore. Prepare for departure, Lieutenant, Alina said, turning away from the viewport. We have a galaxy to meet. Through the neural connection, the Nemesis anticipation mirrored her own. Together, ship and captain, partners rather than master and machine, would show the galaxy what humanity could accomplish when underestimated. The Concordat had laughed at their scrapyard fleet. Now, they knelt before it.